Hello everyone, and welcome to another fighter breakdown. This is the KRC semifinals between Lordship Ulrich and Lordship Heigo. They're both fighting sword and dagger, so the winner of this one will go on to the finals in the final match. So let's go ahead and get into it. So right off the bat here, you can see Ulrich's leg is locked, his knee is locked right there. So that means he is not planning on moving forward, he's just kind of evaluating, assessing. So watch that, it will change here in a second. Once he's ready to move. Okay, engaged. Now he's engaged and ready to get forward and get moving.
It felt like it just... Your call.
Okay, so I want to watch that closer myself. Okay, go back here. So Ulrich has hit on the hand. Right there. Okay. Looks like Ulrich hits Heigo's sword hand. And they talk about it for a second. They think it's kind Heigo wasn't sure if it was good or not, so he kind of looks at Ulrich, and Ulrich says, "Yeah, it's your call," and that's always a good thing to do. It's very polite, and in tournaments we're not to call our opponent's shots. I do think it's okay to discuss it for clarification, but ultimately it's up to your opponent to call their own shots. So let's see how they handle that.
It felt like it just... Your call.
Vivat!
Oh, I got a dagger! It felt weird, that's why in the knee. That's the hand always feel weird, so that's why. Yep.
Okay, let's look at that real quick. Let's slow it down. Okay, so we got Ulrich ready to go. He's got his legs bent. He goes in a good defensive position. He usually holds this stance. He's got a very good form there. So we keep moving. So Ulrich takes a step forward, brings his sword up. We see that Heigo goes to deflect it, moving his sword in this direction. But he sees that it's a feint, so Ulrich set up a feint there. No, that's what it was. Okay, Ulrich's coming from a reposed position down here, going up. So that means the sword can come from has to come from down going up, but it could go up and over the blade, or it could go around the blade this way. There's a lot of options when your blade is down in repose or absence of blade. Sorry, absence of blade. So he pulls that sword up. Heigo reacts pulling down, which is a good way usually. But he pulls up again as Ulrich is going into a full lunge. And it's just in time. It looks like, see the blade in here getting close but not quite. And as it goes up past the mask, and Heigo does a good move here, which is to take his blade and come back down and try to get the repose on it. But that's one reason why Keons and guards are really good, because Ulrich was able to pull that up, that he was able to block that, and the blade is just going around him now. Okay, now Ulrich does something interesting here. So he stays in his forward position. Heigo is in a backwards position. He's taken his body very much out of the line. Normally it would be centered and forward to here. And Ulrich is attacking again, trying to get that side. He was trying to get the block with the dagger, but just missed those two. And they watch it, they just pass each other. And so Heigo gets the block right there with his sword. And because it's not his edge, there's a lot of bending going on both the blades. So it just looks like it's pushing it straight up. And there is no contact. There's a lot of flop in that blade. You can see a lot more when it's slow, though.
Please center up. Please center up.
Ulrich never likes it when I do that to him.
You know the edge was there. I was using it.
I know.
The edge can be a good advantage, and I know Ulrich likes to use that so they don't have a place to back up. So that's a good tactic, and it can be very effective as well. So, and when employed properly, because you know what's behind you, and that means you have to fight moving forward, so you can't back up. So it's a good tactic. I agree. Okay, so let's look at that. So after they centered up, that was interesting. Oh, let's look at that. So Heigo does this drop lunge. Not a true lunge or any kind. It's just like he takes a step back after the feint, trying to take advantage of the tempo that Ulrich gave him by moving his sword and attacking. And so he pulls that, but his foots just kind of go from here out to here. So he moves back and forward at the same time. That's kind of interesting. In that lunge. So he doesn't get any range like he's used to. That could be because this is his offhand and it's not his primary fighting hand. But then he comes to very close, so he could do another lunge here because his legs are close together. But Ulrich has very nice defense set up and his blade in repose, so he's ready to go. And then Heigo's like, nope, that's not a good spot, so he takes a step back there. Ulrich steps forward, and he is in a lunge position now because he's moved his feet close together and he's ready, cocked and ready to go. And so he takes another step. Heigo realizes it is on the way out. Nice. He gets the guard and the block down there. Let's see how long that lasts. Yep. Just deflected it. Heigo comes around. Came around here. Ulrich's blade is coming down this direction on target. Whoa. Oh, that is so close. There's no way. Look at that. Heigo's tip. And just not even an inch away from Ulrich's face. From being just a nice pop to the top. But he's taking a step back. In the meantime, we watch over here. We'll see the connection. Yes. I think part of the hand might be in there, but either way, that'd be a staple to the head. It looks like it's just a nice shot to the head. Oh no, it goes past it and draws down, I think is what he calls it in the end. Yeah. Very good. Very good first pass. Alright, so this is the beginning of pass 2. A little bit of blade talk going on. There's not a lot of movement back and forth, which means they're both very ready. You can see that their position. Heigo is ready to launch. He's got his feet close together, so he's ready to move forward. Very close, low center of gravity, so he could go backwards or forwards pretty quickly. Ulrich's got a bit of a wider stance, so he's looking a little bit more defensive, especially now that his blade is raised. It's not in absence. It's not absent or absent of blades. So just kind of testing the water, seeing where they are. Oh, and they run off screen. Hold is what we call when something, either they go close to the edge or looks like in this case when he fell. It just means that something could have happened or unsafe situation, so we call hold. So obviously the cameraman is watching the fighters, not the phone. But let's take a quick look at that. Now this is an assertive move by Ulrich. Not going to use the word aggressive, because aggressive usually, or aggression usually means something more of the lines of not thought out. Whereas this is very assertive. You have to run people down sometimes, and that happens a lot. So, or that can happen a lot. So he takes a step, and that step comes into a lunge. Ulrich does. So Heigo sees that, takes a step back, and we see Heigo gets the block with the dagger right there, and so he's not in danger anymore because he has the block and he's moving upwards, and so that's out of the way. And so he tries to do a repose attack. I believe his sword is on the outside right now, so I think he's going to try to get it in. I don't think he does. Nope, he doesn't. So would have been a very good kill, but his Ulrich had the good defense on that point. And now Ulrich is bringing his blade down, trying to get in a cut, or I'm sure it was supposed to be a stab, but because he's coming in, his Heigo is now past Ulrich's tip, so that's not going to work. And so, and that especially since it's just coming down on the outside of Heigo. Okay. And so, watch this. Interesting. Oh, I see that. Heigo actually got caught up in his own guard with his dagger, and got stuck there for, let's see, just a second. And Heigo realizes now that he is not in a good position. So he is doing the, oh no, get out of there. And in the position where his body is, it kind of makes sense that he fell. He's brought his body very far off center towards the camera. And therefore he's just, ooh, yeah. Lucky he didn't like roll or anything, but and it comes in assertively trying to get that dagger lunge there. That's why Ulrich is being assertive, is he's trying to get the dagger to go in, because he did have a clear shot, but just Heigo's body position, and how fast he's moving back made it so that he couldn't get him there. So nothing there yet. So let's continue on the next part. Okay, so they reset. Now let's take a look at how this one goes. Okay, so it looks like we got an arm, is what it was called at. So Heigo likes to do those kind of voids. More like a gimbal. Alright, so Ulrich takes his lunge forward. Heigo's, ooh, nice, okay. So Heigo's blade goes down and around to come back up. Watch that. Yeah, so he does a disengage around the blade as Ulrich drops his blade. And I guess Heigo was expecting an attack to come up from high because his arm is right up there. But Ulrich's just back in defensive mode. He's got his sword down here and his dagger ready to block. And so the dagger would go whichever way, left or right, depending on which way the dagger, the Heigo sword comes in. Yep, so that's where Ulrich was ready. He's got the dagger on right there. And Heigo still got that high dagger over there. So, but, looks like, interesting. Okay. Huh. So looking at this, we got Ulrich's dagger here, but looking at the angle, the keons are this way instead of straight up and down. And so that is going to cause his blade to skid down and come off of the sword, off the blade there, come forward, which then guides Heigo's sword right into Ulrich's arm, right there. Very good arm. And so we see that. Oh yeah, we gotta get that little bit right there. And so as he's losing his arm, Ulrich tries to get that tip cut right in over here. But Heigo voids down and just barely misses that. It's so close. And that's the thing about these high level fighters. There's such small movements, such small misses, but you have to take them in order to get anywhere close to killing each other. It's quite intense. Love it.
That was a little stiff. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was shooting into it. We're good.
No hold has been called, gentlemen.
A lot of evaluating going on here. And you can see again, Ulrich's leg is straight and his knee is not bent. Therefore, he is completely on the defensive at this point. He's analyzing and waiting. So you see that defensive position there. And there it was. You see that small change right there. You see the knee change, and that's when things got different for Ulrich, when he was now ready to start attacking. So it's always things like this that when you're looking at a person and you're fighting them, you can't just look at their sword or their arm or their eyes. You kind of have to look at all of it. And it's hard to really visualize that or explain that, but you are focused on all of them. If you're focused on one thing, you're going to miss something else that could kill you.
You had fabric here. I think I only had fabric on you, on the body.
Oh yeah, it was on the arm. You got the arm.
Okay, so let's take a quick look at that. So, all right, get back into it. They talk a lot. That's another thing high-level fighters do, is they talk a lot. All right, so he comes in off the side there. Nothing. Heigo tries to come in to get a... Oh, man, that is so close. That is just fabric. So, right in here, watch Heigo. And then you can watch Ulrich. They're both doing the same reachy, pokey, touchy feeling thing here. So, just a little... Ooh, yeah, that's it. They're both getting just fabric. Him on the side. Got a bit in the sleeve there. But then you do get nice contact right there across the arm. And there is just fabric is what Ulrich says. And so, yeah, I can see that. That's just fabric. So, it's a good call. It's hard to call that sometimes, but it's a good call.
You had fabric here. I think I only had fabric on you, on the body.
Oh yeah, it was on the arm. You got the
Okay.
arm.
Good call. So loses his arm. So now they're both in their
Fighting
offense.
offhand.
I know something you don't know.
Good.
Bounce off the leg of the dude.
Awesome. Okay, so let's take a quick look at that. Okay, big thing about stance here. Ulrich is not springed for anything. He's straight-legged, not really in a good position for much. I could say that this is probably because it's his offset. His offhand, and so his off leg as well. But he's also moving in closer so he can set up a lunge, I would imagine. And you see that change. He brings his leg forward. Maybe Heigo senses in or notices this sense of unbalance. Because you bring yourself higher, you're changing your dynamic of the fight a little bit, changing where you are, changing your range mostly, but you're also changing your ability to move, and that can be deadly. So we watch this. Heigo is now moving forward, takes the blade across. Interesting. Okay. So he starts and goes with a push-up, and then he follows the blade down, and it looks like he's coming around underneath the guard there in this lunge. I think it's a nice stab to the torso. And because of the they're both their offhands, but it's on the same side. Ulrich's repose here coming down this way isn't just gonna slap, and it looks like it does connect on the leg down here. So, but that's not torso, so the win has to go to Heigo. So in this one, Ulrich could have done this a little bit better by staying in better leg positioning. But other than that, it was both very good fight, and I think Heigo took advantage of that out of position legs. Because as I've always been told, right at the very beginning of sword fighting practices, and when I first started, that your feet will kill you. So I think this was a good example of that. Just a good reminder. So finish this one up.
Good.
Bounce off the leg of the dude.
Alright, so this is the final bout. It's now 1 apiece. We have the first one to Ulrich and the second one to Heigo. So it's best 2 out of 3. We'll see now who gets to go on to the finals. So, something interesting Heigo did there. He tried to bait Ulrich into doing something. So you can see that. Ooh, go backwards. He just kind of jumps right there. Jumps him back and forth. And it's like, now, that does work. That's a very good tactic, because usually what it does, it gets someone to react, and then in that reaction, it gives you time to then attack. It didn't work on Ulrich. Yeah. Usually if they got their head on straight, they don't get fainted like that very easily. So, interesting move. Oh, something really interesting. They were really close right here. They're definitely within stabbing range of each other, but they're not doing anything because they're both kind of looking for the other person to do something, it looks like. Ulrich's in a nice wide stance, so he's not moving. He wouldn't be able to get a very long lunge, but he doesn't need it right now. And it looks like Heigo's just about to take a step back. Yeah. Very close. Oh, good. Okay, so it looks like Heigo gets Ulrich there. Let's take a look at that real quick. Probably probably say real quick a lot. Anyway. Alright. So we see the position here. Ulrich's changing his stance. He's getting ready for a lunge. Takes that step and a lunge towards the comes going this way a little bit. Interesting. So he moves forward and attacks. The Heigo takes the dagger. Yep. From here to here and is guarding that. Pushing it off to the side. Alright. And so you can see over here, Ulrich's blade is just coming down flat on his shoulder, if anything. But Heigo's blade is right in the open. Now Ulrich's probably going to try to get that blade, his dagger, to come down and block that. Let's watch that real quick. Yep, it's coming down and blocking that. But it's still interesting because of the way he comes down, but he moves in then that way. So his dagger does the job partially, but it's just not fast enough at this point and this range. Because of how close they started out, I think that range really did that, finish that in the end. And so with Heigo dropping down his body, I cleared him there, and then right in for a good belly shot. Yeah. A little tappy tap on his helmet there. But Heigo's got the block completely, so there's nothing else. Very good bouts, really awesome fights. It's really cool to be able to analyze these guys. Really good fighters.
Oh!
Thanks for joining me for another fighter breakdown. Again, this was Lordship Ulrich versus Lordship Heigo in the semifinals of the Kingdom Rapier Champion in the fall of 2019. Thanks, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked it, please leave a comment. If you have any questions or concerns or thoughts, something that you saw that I didn't see, that'd be great to hear. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the next one.